Good morning all. So we can find our mindful postures. We're going to sit up straight. And today we're going to move a little slowly. So when you find your anchor spot, I want you to move your hands very slowly, as slow as you can, to rest on your anchor spot. Slow, 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 wherever you feel your breath. And we're going to close our eyes. We're going to breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And just notice your breath. Notice how you feel. And in a moment, I will play the bell. Listen to the sound. When you no longer hear it, you can open your eyes. And I'm going to slowly move my bell back to where it goes. Do you notice how slowly I'm moving? What animal do you think we're going to read about today? Is it a cheetah? No. What animals move slowly? If you said turtle, you're right. So today, I want to encourage you to try and practice moving really slow. Just one thing, whether it's brushing your teeth or opening a door or just walking down the hall. Practice it slowly, moving in slow motion, as slow as you can, and just notice how it feels. Notice how each muscle feels, how your body notices all those feelings. Just simply raising your arm really slowly and putting it down. Okay, so practice slow motion today in honor of our reading, Old Turtle and the Broken Truth. So this is a story by Douglas Wood, watercolors by John J. Muth. We're going to try a little different of editing today for reading this book. I'm going to read it like this, but every now and then I will show the image of the watercolor. Okay? Once, in a beautiful faraway land that was somehow not so very far, a land where every stone was a teacher and every breeze a language, where every lake was a mirror and every tree a ladder to the stars. Into this far and lovely land there fell a truth. It streaked down from the stars, trailing a tail as long as the sky. But as it fell, it broke. One of the pieces blazed off through the night sky, and the other fell to earth in the beautiful land. In the morning, Crow found the fallen piece. It seemed to be a sort of stone, shiny and pleasing to the eye. He picked it up. "This is a lovely truth," said Crow. "I will keep it." And he carried it away. But after he held it for a while and examined it closely, Crow said, "This truth doesn't feel quite right. A part of it is missing. I will look for a whole one." He flew off and dropped it to the ground. Other creatures who like shiny things noticed the truth as well. Fox, Coyote, Raccoon each picked it up and carried it a while. But they too found that it had rough edges and was difficult to carry. Its sparkle soon lost its appeal. "We do not need this broken truth," they said. "We will find a whole one." Butterfly and Bear also discovered the truth, drawn by its sweetness, but each found it left a bitter taste afterwards. "There's something missing in this truth," they thought, and so they left it alone. After a while, none of the creatures even noticed the broken truth anymore. It lay on the ground forgotten. Then a human being found it. He was walking slowly, listening to the breezes, gazing at beauties above and below and all around, when he found the broken truth. On it was writing, and the writing said, "You are loved." The man held it carefully, thinking it was the loveliest thing he'd ever seen. He tucked the broken truth into a safe space and he kept it. Sometimes he'd take it out and admire, and the truth sparkled just for him and whispered its message to him alone, and the man thought he never felt so proud or happy. The man took the wonderful truth to his people, those who lived with him, who spoke as he spoke and dressed as he dressed, and whose faces looked like his. Together, they cherished their newfound truth. They believed in it. They hugged it to themselves, and it became their most important possession. After a while, the man and his people did not hear the language of the breezes and stones. They only heard their truth. They did not see the mirrored beauty in the lakes or the ladders to the stars, only saw their sparkling truth. For them it was enough, and they called it the truth. The truth made the people feel good and proud and strong, but soon they also began to feel fear and even anger towards those who were not like them and did not share their truth. The other beings and other people of the lovely land seemed less and less important, and the language of the breezes was hardly heard any more. Time passed, and other people said, "We must have this great truth for ourselves, for with it comes happiness and power." Many battles were fought, and the broken truth was won and lost over and over again. But such was its power and beauty that no one ever doubted it, and when they were without it, they felt a great emptiness where their truth had been. The stones and trees suffered, the breezes and water suffered, and the animals and the earth, and most of all, the people suffered. Finally, the animals went to Old Turtle, who was ancient and wise as the mountains and seas. Crow and Fox went, Coyote went, Raccoon, Butterfly, Bear, and many others. They all went to see Old Turtle. "This truth the people quarrel over," they said. "We've all held it ourselves. It's broken. It does not work. Please tell the people." "I am sorry," answered Old Turtle. "The people will not listen. They are not ready." And so the suffering continued, until one day a little girl came to find Old Turtle. She traveled far. She'd crossed the mountains of imagining and the rivers of wondering why, and found her way through the forest of finding out. When she'd grown tired, she'd ridden on the backs of animals or the wings of birds. They had helped her find her way. Finally, they came to a great hill in the very center of the world. From there, the little girl thought she had never seen so far or seen so much beauty. When she saw Old Turtle, she could hardly speak. She simply looked with eyes full of wonder. "Why have you come so far to find me, little one?" said Old Turtle. Her voice rumbled like faraway thunder, but was soft as the breeze through a caterpillar's whiskers. I wanted to ask a question," answered the little girl. "Where I live, the earth is sore. People are suffering. Battles are fought over and over again. People say it's always been this way and will never change. Can it change, Old Turtle? Can we make it change?" Old Turtle spoke. "The world you describe is not the world that has always been, little one." Then Old Turtle told of how the people had found the broken truth and the suffering it had caused. "It is because it is so close to a great whole truth that it has such beauty, and the people love it so. It's the lost portion of that broken truth. That's what the people need if the world's to be made whole again." "Where's the missing piece?" asked the girl. "Can we put the truth back together again?" "First, my child," said Old Turtle, "remember that there are truths all around us and within us. They twinkle in the night sky and bloom upon the earth. They fall upon us every day, silent as the snow, gentle as the rain. The people, clutching their one truth, forget that it is part of all the small and lovely truths of life. They no longer see these truths, no longer hear them. But perhaps, little one, you can." "I'll try," said the little girl. And she thought once more of her long journey. She looked upon all the beauty that surrounded her, from the far hills to the flowers beneath her feet. She saw the movement of clouds and the soaring of birds and the dancing of light upon the green and living earth. She heard the whispering of a breeze, and gradually a feeling came over her, as though all the world were made of truth, as if the whole world had been made just for her and she had been made for it. And she felt a secret smile somewhere deep inside, and thought that perhaps she understood. She looked once again at Old Turtle, her eyes more filled with wonder than before. Old Turtle spoke again. "Remember this also, little one. The broken truth and light itself will be mended only when one person meets another. someone from a different place or with a different face or different ways, and sees and hears herself. Only then will the people know that every person, every being is important, and the world was made for each of us. For a long time, the two friends were quiet, high on their hill in the very center of the world. In her heart, the little girl thought she could see other people in other beautiful lands, people with their own ways, their own truths, people different from her own, but still somehow the people. Finally, the little girl asked one more question. Old Turtle, how will the people learn these things? By seeking out those small and simple truths all around them, by listening once more to the language of breezes, by learning lessons from stones and animals and trees and stars. Even turtles, Old Turtle chuckled, and little girls. Now, little one, it's time for you to go. Return to your people. Tell them what you have seen and learned, and to help them mend their broken truth. Take this with you, said Old Turtle, as she placed something in the little girl's hand. I've saved it for a very long time, for someone just like you. The little girl looked at what Old Turtle had given her. It was a stone, mysterious, beautiful stone. It was lovely to touch. It made her good to feel it. She squeezed it tightly and tucked it away. Thank you, Old Turtle, she said, and hugged her great friend's leathery neck. She started home. Once more, she traveled through the forest of finding out, crossed the river of wondering why, and the mountains of imagining. Crow led the way, and again when the little girl grew tired, all her animal friends helped. She sometimes touched the stone Old Turtle had given her to renew her strength, and it took a long time, yet almost no time at all, till she was home. It had been a long journey, and those who take great journeys of the heart are changed. The people did not recognize her, and when she spoke, they did not understand. She told them of her journey, but the people could not follow her words. She spoke of a world made of small and gentle truths, of all the peoples being one people. They could not catch her meaning. She explained about the broken truth and the need to make it whole, but the people did not believe her. They could not understand. Finally, Crow, seeing what had happened, flew to the high place above the village where the great truth was kept. In a place where all could see it, he cawed and cawed in his loudest voice. Suddenly, the little girl knew what to do. She climbed to the high place herself. She took Old Turtle's stone from her pocket and carefully added the missing piece to the broken one. The fit was perfect. The people looked and looked and looked. You are loved, was the old truth, added to the broken truth, and so are they. Some frowned, some smiled, some laughed, some cried. They began to understand. Time passed, and upon the beautiful land the trees climbed like ladders to the stars, the waters shone like mirrors, and the people saw their beauty. A breeze stirred, and they heard its music. Tiny truths fell by day and night, gentle as the rain and snow, and the people found them and kept them in their hearts. And slowly, as the people met other people different from themselves, they began to see themselves. And far away on a hill, in the very center of the world, Old Turtle smiled. So remember, you are loved, and so are they. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you next week.